Eastern PA Weather 30 meteorologist Poppy Marchich here with your outlook for March 9th, 2017. We're going to have a mostly sunny day today, at least for most of the day. I think the clouds are going to start to increase later in the day and again in the evening. And we're going to have this weak little system that's going to be moving in from the west here. It's going to give us some late season light accumulating snow. Now this will just be boundary dependent, temperature dependent, so areas further south will not get into the action so much. Although I do think there's going to be a changeover from snow to, or excuse me, from rain to snow eventually before it ends, but it might be a little bit too late because these areas down south here are a little bit marginal in temperature. So it might be like what I like to call white rain, or you might have heard that term out there a lot, where it's falling as snow, but it's melting on contact. So it's pretty much rain that's just falling as white. So that's where the white rain term comes in. But here's a look at as we get to the evening and first part of the overnight. This is basically an after midnight deal, but it might sneak in here a little bit sooner based on some of the model projections I've seen in the short range. But what we're going to see here is the boundary layer. This area low pressure, here's the boundary layer right here. Area low pressure is forming along that. So it's a very weak area low pressure, but just enough to throw some interfrontal precipitation behind it. And this is going to allow in these colder areas for it to fall as snow and accumulate. I think your jackpot area is going to be right along I-80, which kind of goes right like this. So that's your jackpot area, but you can see the boundary here starts off as rain further south, like from I-78 point south. This will be starting off as rain there, but then I do think it goes over to snow. It'll start to mix quicker from north to south, so up here in places like just north of Harrisburg over to maybe like Allentown and up into portions of interior northwest New Jersey, you'll get that changeover quicker, but then that will change over eventually all the way down, I think, maybe to Philadelphia, but it might be, again, down by Philadelphia, it's probably going to be the white rain deal where it's just falling and not sticking. But further interior, you get like, coating into an inch of the suburbs, maybe an inch or two up by Allentown. And then up in this jackpot area right along I-80 is where we think you're going to get into a 2 to 4 inch swath. So you can check that map out on Weather Alerts. We have that out there for our first call. I don't really see much reason to change that at this point. But here's a look at late evening as is around 10 o'clock, and you can see the snow starting to break out across mainly northeastern Pennsylvania. Further south is going to start off as rain initially because the boundary layer temperatures are not supportive of snow yet. But as the snow, as it starts to mix with snow, as the temperatures continue to drop and the north wind kicks in and the front continues to drop, that snow will actually create a process that we call evaporational cooling, and it will actually cool the air around it and as it evaporates, and that will allow for the temperatures to drop here. Just got ahead of myself. Temperatures will drop, and that will change things over to snow. Here's a look at 4 a.m. Here is 7 a.m. and you can see snow is falling down here all the way down to just about Philadelphia, back to York County, Lancaster, places like that. But the problem is, look where your 32-degree line is. It's right here, runs right through, right along I-78 pretty much. Okay, so along I-78 and just north of it, which includes, places like, well, this would be north of Harrisburg, north of Lebanon, probably north of Reading, but right along Allentown here. I think Allentown gets a little bit of an accumulation here, and then you get up in northwest New Jersey. This is all snow too, but this is starting to end up here in the northwestern area. So what falls here is going to be overnight. This stuff down further south is going to fall, and again, areas up here away from the city in the northwest suburbs can still get a coating to an inch here. Okay, and it's going to be mainly non-paved surfaces there. Same thing here, I think, here along I-78, mostly non-paved surfaces. I think you're accumulating snow on the roadways going to be limited to around I-80 for that to occur. So continuing on from this, you see continuing to press off. This is 10 a.m. now, and it's now moving off the coast. And by the afternoon, we are out of here with this system. Okay, so not a big deal, just a nuisance for most people. But again, areas along I-80 from maybe State College all the way over to places like Wilkes-Barre and Scranton and the southern Poconos, those areas could do pretty well, relatively speaking, for March, for the 2 to 4 inch snowfall. At least that's our jackpot area, if you want to call it that. Going further from this, we start to remain mostly cloudy the rest of Friday, and then we have this next system we were talking about was this weekend system. That is now staying way to the south. You can see that down here, well to the south, not a concern whatsoever, and not a snow producer for our area. So this weekend will be partly cloudy, not expecting any kind of precipitation whatsoever. We're going to be turning our attention to early next week, Tuesday. It looks like the GFS and European model are trying to do something with a northern stream low coming in, and there's another, so it's off the screen here, down here, but there's another low coming up the coast. These two are going to interact with each other somewhere out here. It just depends on, with the timing of that. Timing is going to be very crucial to this. I mean, there's a lot of snow maps going around already. showing the snow potential. If these can come together and at least partially phase, we will get a snow event for at least the eastern sections of our coverage area. I think if it fully phases, you can get a much bigger storm. But right now, current projections are showing this phasing occurring up here for New England. You can see this is one big consolidated low here now, but look what's happening. It's ending here already. So your big snows are up here. So there's a lot of things to be worked out with this system yet. Far from decided yet. This thing could just slide out to sea and nothing happens at all, and you just maybe have a weak clipper with that northern stream system, or maybe not even that either. I mean, we're looking at this now, talking about next Tuesday. Today's only Thursday, so we have a lot of time to look at this yet. And I don't want anybody to get excited about this because we were doing that with this weekend system. This one that's staying to the south over the weekend. This looked like a couple days ago it might do something. Of course, that changed in the shorter term. So don't get excited just yet. We'll keep you updated if something changes. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich. That is our outlook for March 9th, 2017. Have a great Thursday.